Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to an episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and we are super excited to come to you with another fresh new episode for you today. This is going to be a fun one. I'm going to rock solo today, so if you're tired of hearing me talk, well, you might as well go ahead and turn the channel. But if you have thought that I brought a decent amount of value to you here recently, then stick it out because I think this one's going to be really fun. I'm not going to go too deep, too crazy today. Last Friday's show was a little harsh, so I figured I'd dial it back a little bit. Give you some real action steps to take to increase your revenue this fall/winter off season because it is coming before we know it. And I want you to get ahead of that, right? Because I know what it feels like to get into that time where revenue drops down. You still have guys you want to keep on payroll, but how do you do it? How do you keep revenue up? How do you stay busy? How do you pay yourself? All the things that comes with running a business and having employees on payroll. I totally get it. Totally understand it because we are going through it day to day. And that is why I'm so passionate about our show is I'm doing this stuff as we grow and we're sharing it. We're sharing our growth journey along the way, being very open as much as we can. Literally as much of an open book as we can be. I'm trying to share that. And so that's what I kind of want to walk through today. If you're new to the show, welcome in. Welcome to what we call the Growing Green podcast here. It's really an update and a journey through our life. We do a Marriage Monday show with my wife and I, Savannah, on Mondays, and that's a super fun show. We've been doing that for, 2.5 years now, something like that. The show's been going for 3.5, so we started that about a year into the show, and it's been fun ever since. I can't believe we're this far into it, but somehow she keeps coming back every week, and we have a good time together. We've built a lot of good relationships from that show, and so very appreciative to you who listen, support, but also appreciative to Savannah for joining and sticking it out with us. I know it's not always easy. We do a lot of late night recordings. We just get in where we can with life, a toddler, growing a business, all the things. You know how hard it is, and so we just try to make time when we can and be as consistent as possible with it. So thank you to her and to you guys for listening and tuning in. But we're essentially sharing our journey as we grow the business, right? And we've really hit it hard the last 8 to 10 months on growing the business and actually sustaining employees and really taking this thing to new heights. And that's what I really want to talk about today because as you grow, you run into things and situations that you don't necessarily run into when you're a solo guy. When you're a solo guy, you just got to make a little bit of money. You make a lot of money in the summer and you have a little nest egg. And then you go into the winter and you can kind of take some days off, sleep in some days, go hang out, go on vacations, just chill for the winter because you make enough money in the summer to make up for that, right? And that's something that is a benefit to being a solo guy. You're just a solopreneur out there on your own, maybe a guy helping you throughout the summer. He goes and gets a part-time job during the winter, and you're in good shape. That's not the case as you try to grow. When you add on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, and they are your lifeline, they're your team, right? They're team members in your company. From March to October, they're full-time, running wide open. You can't just drop them off from November, December, January, February. 4 months, you can't just let them go like, hey, sorry guys, I don't have any money for you because their bills don't stop the same way that your bills don't stop in the winter. And I think that I want to make a case for your employees here that they don't need to be put on unemployment. You don't need to let them go and need to drop them. You as the business owner need to go out and try to find ways to keep them on because when you keep them on and you have a full-time staff year-round, that helps with team morale as well because they're not coming back into something they were missing during the winter. They're with you during those shop days during the winter. The days you get to have a little more free time. You still have to keep turning. You still have to produce revenue. We're going to talk about that today. but that you do have a little more downtime. So the time of hanging around the shop, playing cornhole, shooting the bull, whatever, washing equipment, doing these things that have to be done, try to have them there with you, because that's how you grow culture. That's how they build relationships with their coworkers. That's how they hang out and do things outside of the business. That is all in turn what helps your business grow, because it makes them enjoy what they're doing. They enjoy the people they're with. And so that's something that I've worked on really hard this year, is trying to put people into place in our company that enjoy what they're doing. And they enjoy the people they work with, right? Because that is, you spend more time with your coworkers than you do your family. Like, that's just the part of life. It's part of working. It's part of having a career. And you want to make sure that they are enjoying where they're at. And so as you navigate these next couple months of heading into the down season, I want to just talk through some things today that you can do, simple action steps. You've heard them. You know these things. I'm preaching to the choir. But I just want to talk to maybe some of the guys that don't know this stuff. It's their first year, second year into trying to keep guys in your business through the winter. And it's tough. It's not easy. And I want to give you some insight, some things you can be doing, some services you can be offering to kind of keep the cash flow coming in, because you don't want cash flow to drop off. You want to keep the bills paid, keep people on, and see your company really hitting it strong in spring rush. Because if you lose everybody for 4 months, getting them back in and ready to go on March 1st is not always easy, and you get kind of behind the 8 ball. You're not ready to go the way that you would like to be. Whereas if you're there all winter, you have time to prep, time to train, time to plan, and hit it hard out of the gates before the rest of the companies do that are bringing guys back from unemployment March 1. But I want to start with the very obvious, and then we'll kind of work through some of these. One of the best ways to make money and pad stats going into the offseason, fall cleanups. Fall cleanups are something that it's a hot topic. People talk about in this time of year. Do I buy a debris loader? Do I buy a dump trailer? Do I build a box? Do I have a dump insert put on? Do I buy a bagger for my mower? Do I mulch the leaves? Do I blow the leaves to the curb? Do I pay someone else to pick them up? So many different variations of how you can do this for your company. I think that you need to find what works for your situation the best by polling people in your area, in your climate, and seeing what works for them. If they have a bigger company than you and they're doing things and they're in a position where you want to be, ask them how they got there. Some people might say no, they might shut you down. The majority of the people if they actually built a company that you want to mimic, they're going to be open. They're going to share their wins and struggles along the way. So ask them how they've done it. What have they done? Because me buying a box, building a box on my dump trailer and buying a debris loader, I just had a stroke right there. Me buying a debris loader doesn't make a lot of sense for where we are in our climate, because our leaves start falling in October. They will continue to fall through December. They don't come all down at once. They come down over a very long period of time. Now, our maples and stuff shed faster than others, but our oak trees, which is what we primarily have here, oak and pine, oak trees hold on to their leaves a very long time, and they come down over literally a 3-month span. So we do continuous cleanups, not just one big leaf cleanup. So pricing services are different. Some of you guys in the North and the Midwest, you go out and you do a $700 leaf cleanup, and you do that twice a year. Whereas where we are, we continue our maintenance services, the same schedule that we have been mowing on. We continue that for leaves, and we charge the same price because we are doing about the same amount of work, maybe a little more doing leaves, but we're not doing any mowing, we're not edging, we're not doing any of that. We're blowing leaves and we're mulching them up. That's what we're doing on the property. So it may take a little bit longer time, and you may need to adjust that for your situation. For what we have built and the kind of the system we have in place now, we don't change anything. Our service schedule stays the same. If anything, it increases. So we have a couple properties where we drop mowing bi-weekly in October and September. But if we're doing leaves, then we're going to continue to go weekly. Like the schedule would say, that was confusing. Our normal schedule is bi-weekly March and April, weekly from May to September. October and November would be bi-weekly again, and we'd take off December, January, February. Usually, if they have heavy leaves, though, we will just continue our weekly mowing from September all the way through November, because 2 weeks of leaves here when you're mulching adds up very, very quickly. So we'll continue our weekly maintenance accounts through that November, usually, if they have heavy leaves, or just until their leaves are done. and we will mulch those. So our price stays the same. We just continue to have that cash flow. So it works well for us. I don't have to go out and sell a bunch of big leaf cleanup jobs. We just continue our customers all the way through October, November there. You need to do what works for you. But if you're sitting here saying, how do I do leaf cleanups? Mechanize if you're a 1 or 2 man band. Get one of those big Skag windstorms or something like that, one of the comparable models, a Billy Goat, something like that. They all have their makes and models. I don't even know them because we don't have that. We don't need that. We don't have any big commercial properties or anything where we're blowing tons and tons of leaves to the curb or anything. So we just don't have it. We have one property that it may be useful on, but we strap up with backpacks and we go to work for this one property. But if you are a one man band and you may have one guy with you, look at investing in one of those because that's going to save you so much time compared to backpack blowers. Now, if you have 5 or 6 guys to keep busy, you may be better off strapping backpacks on everybody and going to work because remember, during this time of the year, you want to stay efficient, but in the early phases, right, the early phases of growth, you want to keep guys busy. You want things for them to do, for them to generate cash, for them to get a paycheck, right? So maybe it's not going out and buying a $10,000 ride-on blower. Maybe it's going out and buying 5 $700 backpack blowers to get out of it for $3,500. And you're gonna allow them to stay busy because you can't go buy 5 windstorms, but you can go buy 5 backpack blowers. And the power of 5 guys with backpack blowers, you can move a lot of leaves really quickly. And so look at it that way. I'm all for mechanizing. When you are young and you have yourself, if it's yourself and one guy, definitely. And I'm not saying don't mechanize if you have 5 guys. I'm saying if you're trying to keep guys on and you're really trying to pinch pennies and just, again, generate cash flow and keep guys on payroll, this may be something to look at. So all for these cleanup services, however you do it in your area, find people to ask and do it for you. Aeration and overseeding, right? This is another obvious. It's a right off the top. Take it off the top and run with it. We don't really do overseeding this far south in the winter. Something that I am contemplating getting into is lawn painting. That's kind of becoming more and more popular. I don't believe you have to have a license for it, if I'm correct. So a chemical license, I should say. We'll see on that. We'll do the research, but I don't think you do. And so our Bermuda and zoysia goes dormant in the south, and it turns brown. So you've brown, every yard you see for the most part is brown unless they do overseed. Some people do overseed. I don't like overseeding because it's a pain to get out in the springtime. When your Bermuda's trying to come up, your overseed is still there, comes out really strong in the spring, and it's a pain to get rid of. It's going to take you an extra 4 to 6 weeks to really get rid of it. Whereas if you don't have that, you could have green Bermuda the second week of March if you scalp it the right way. And so that's kind of my take on it. I don't really like overseeding there. We don't do aerations this far south because we don't aerate in the fall. We aerate in the spring. But again, you do what works in your area. I know that aeration overseeding is very profitable. That may be a podcast that we do down the road of like talking through that and the benefits to it. And I'll go ahead and tell you we will do that because now I sit here and think about it. There's a lot of guys who want to get into that. And so we'll talk through the numbers on that maybe down the road, along with fall fertilization, right? Because I know some of you guys, these cool season grasses, cool season turf is different. It's totally different than a way of life than we do it down here. So I'm going to put these out here. Look at all of these services. I'm not a professional in them, so I'm not going to sit here and try to preach on them, but I know that it's possible. I know there's a lot of money to be made. Let me come back. Let's get a rain check, and we'll talk through these with another professional who does aeration overseeding. I'll tell you something I do know that I'm good at, and I do know how to do, is clean gutters. Cleaning gutters is a great way to make money. It's a great service to offer, especially if you're going to offer holiday lighting, which we'll get to in just a second. But gutter cleaning is super high profit. If you can stomach getting on a roof and walking on it and you're not scared of heights, you can make some serious cash with gutter cleaning. Now, there's a couple ways to do it. Some people get up there with a water hose and they blow it all out with a water hose, right? Some people get up there and clean out with their hands in a 5-gallon bucket. Some people get up there and take a leaf blower and blow all the gutters out. Personally, that's what we do. You have to be cautious when you do that. You need to look at what's in there. Is it just like a bunch of dry leaves? Is it wet, moldy moss? Like what's in there? Is there a bunch of debris down in there, shingle debris? you have to think about this stuff. But if you just got a bunch of dry leaves clogging up, you can usually take a leaf blower and blow them out you can blow a whole house out. If you can walk the entire roof, you can blow a whole house in 5-10 minutes, tops usually. And then the biggest thing you want to do with that is you want to make sure you clean the house off, because if you do have a bunch of that debris, have access to a water hose or something to clean off the porches, the windows, the shutters, things like that, because usually some debris will fall in the house, but way faster than getting up there and cleaning it out by hand. And so if you can do that and get away with it, and the customer doesn't complain, and you leave it clean, right? Leave it clean. Don't leave it a mess. Do your job there, but leave it clean. You can charge $150, $200 to clean out gutters, and it take you 10 minutes. So there's good cash to be made there. And if you do it by hand up on the ladder, that's what the customer requests. Just make sure you're charging accordingly. Make sure you know if it's going to take you this long, you have an hourly rate set in place that you have to make. Make sure you hit that, and the client should be happy. So gutter cleaning is awesome. Now transition over to holiday lights. We could do a whole podcast on this. I've done many podcasts on this. We're not going to do that today. I just want to run through a list of different things you could be doing. But holiday lighting, if you're already offering Christmas lights, look at gutter cleaning. You're already up there. That's an easy $130, $150 upsell. Hey, I'm up here. We can hit them out for $100 and be on your way and have clean gutters, right? So consider that with Christmas lights. So Christmas lights, let's hit on it really quickly. If you haven't heard of Christmas light podcasts, then there's a ton of money to be made. You can charge anywhere from $5 to $12 a foot depending on your area. Usual cost is between $1.50 and $2.50 a foot is usually what you're going to have costs involved in material as in installing it. Then you have your labor costs on top of that. And it's usually pretty profitable if you estimate it the right way. So just look at it, offer it. If no one in your area is doing it yet, hey, get ahead of it, because once someone starts, it usually catches on pretty quick. You can be the first one to do it and hit it really hard and gain a lot of customers in the beginning. And so you can easily generate between $15,000 and $50,000 of revenue in Christmas lights without even having to do that much marketing and advertising and having pretty low material costs. Your material costs year one will get you. You're going to have to invest in the lights. But if you're doing the rental method, you're going to recoup all of that in year two, and you're not going to have that material cost. So think on that as you set up your pricing and things, how you do your rental versus buy and sell method. We've done many podcasts on it. Again, go back and reference some of those in the archives. But there are good ways to make an extra $15,000 to $50,000 doing Christmas lights that you can be adding in your bank account and keeping guys on staff, like we talked about. So consider holiday lights. It is a very good option. You can also you can start with Halloween, transition into Christmas. You could do permanent lights. That is a one and done install, but you're generating anywhere from, $2,500 to $5,000 per install from what I've seen. So there's a really good option there as well. You're only doing it once, but higher ticket items on the first install. Something else that I want to kind of talk about is the actual landscape/hardscape installations. Usually when your mowing slows down, you still have a few weeks of landscape planting that you can be doing. We usually have a fall rush come in here that wants to wait until the end of the heat to actually do some planting. And so that's what we have this time of year. We have a fall rush. So transition over into that. Maybe you were running wide open in the summer. You didn't have any time to do anything. You were full blast mowing. Well, now you have some time, and try to sell some install work. Try to take your company to new heights with adding landscape installs to your repertoire of services offered. You can also do some hardscapes. You can do some patios, some simple trash can projects, things like that. Things that the weather doesn't necessarily affect. And if you're as far south as we are, the ground doesn't really freeze here, so we can really plant whenever for the most part, and we can also install hardscapes whenever, because our freeze-thaw laws are not the same as what they are in the north. So do your research. Like I said, do your respective research, what it works in your area and what doesn't. But there's huge opportunity out there with landscape installs, plantings, landscape lighting you could be doing. It gets dark earlier in the afternoons. You can say, hey, we installed a landscape for you this summer. Let's extend that landscape and you enjoy it through the nighttime, because usually in the south it gets dark about 5:15 in the wintertime, and you're not going to be hosting parties until 6:37, right? So show your landscape lighting, show your landscape off with landscape lighting You could offer that install as well. Just target your customers that you already have on how you can upsell them. Also, this is the one that slaps you right in the face. It doesn't slap me in the face because it's just we don't do it. But snow. How can you break into the snow game? I hear a lot of guys, should I do snow? Should I not do snow? I don't do snow. I don't know that I want to do snow if I was in that market, but I do know there's a ton of money to be made in it. And if you're a hustler and you got payroll to make and you got guys you want to keep busy, the snow game might be something to look into. It is something that I think you can grow a lot of culture with because you get guys up late at night. They have fun. Especially young guys, they get out and grind and hustle and enjoy it. That's also a time of night where you can just like build team morale. When you meet up at your shop at 11 p.m. or 1 a.m. to head out, like have some coffee and some donuts or something, whatever you can get your hands on, and that can really help bond your team members, I believe. And so look at snow. I'm not going to sit here and preach to you on snow because I don't do it, but I know that there's a per push package and a per season package. If you sell the per season, you just make sure you manage your cash and how you spend it, because you're usually going to get paid out beginning of the year. And if you get all $75,000 worth of snow paid out in November, but you don't manage it and budget it to get you through February, then you could be in there upside down because you're not getting cash flow through the winter. So there may be a place for some per pushes and things like that, but you set up what works for you. Get around people who have better snow knowledge than I do and try to learn from them. Look ahead to the springtime. Sell some packages to your clients that are in the spring. So let's fast forward over into January, maybe by now. December, January, February. Maybe not so much October, November, December. Look into December, January, and February. How can I go ahead and sell to the customer some installs, some mulch, pine straw refreshes, annual replacements? How can I sell that and collect deposits to get them in the schedule and solidify their spot? All you gotta do, hey, go out. Hey, Miss Jones, I was at your property just doing a look around. We're just doing ride arounds while it's down. I see you need this. We could update these plans, change these out. This February the 25th, March 1st, March 15th. Pick your date. Would be a great time to do this service. Our spring rush gets really, really busy between February 15th and May the 1st. So what we're doing right now is we're offering an incentive to our customers that we have currently, that if you go ahead and you approve this estimate and secure your job and give us a deposit of 25% and put you on the schedule, then you'll be one of the first ones to get your project done in the spring and not have to be just keeping up with all of the rest of the leads that we have coming in the middle of spring rush. So if we can collect a 25% deposit from you, we will put you on the schedule, solidify your start date for this, and we'll get your plants in the ground and looking good, ready for springtime. So does that sound good to you? If so, let's collect that 25% on this estimate. You sell a $6,000 install. What's 25% of $6,000? I can't do math that quick. So, but I know my calculator can. $1,500. That's $1,500 that goes in. That could get you a week of payroll, right? You sell 10 of those jobs. That's $10,000. $10,000 worth of deposits that you collected. Now again, budget. That's $1,500 you're not going to get when you get paid out in March. But again, if it keeps you busy and keeps your guys busy, allows you to keep your guys on payroll, then that's a great thing to do. And so you gotta really you have to sell yourself and make people know that they can trust you, that you're going to show up and actually do their work, because you're taking money a significant amount in advance. So you better have a good system in place, a good scheduling system, so you don't forget and let things fall through the cracks. But if you can do that, it's a great way to get some cash flow in, to maybe do some of those maintenance shop tasks, because that is the time to do these. You got equipment to be washed. You got mowers and engines and oils and everything else to be changed, right? Tracks to be tightened, things to be greased, platforms to be built, tables to be built, shipping containers to be moved into. All the things to do is it's a great option to do in the wintertime. You just have to have the cash to do it. And so how can you generate the cash? That's the number one thing. What can we do? That's what this podcast is about. What can we do to upsell and generate new revenue moving forward? So with that, let me circle back to the lawn painting thing. I kind of just glossed over it. People paint their lawns. You could do this for Christmas. If you're in the South and you have a Bermuda or a Zoysia yard that goes dormant, hey, we're going to light up your home. with holiday lights. But let me tell you about this. We also have a lawn painting program. We can do red and green stripes. We can do whatever you can put a Christmas tree, whatever your heart desires. We can do it, and that could be another way to generate revenue from November and December, where your grass is already dormant. But hey, let's paint it for Christmas. Let's add some stuff to it. Maybe paint a pumpkin in for Halloween, or just for fall in general. You just have to get creative and get out there and stretch your mind a little bit. None of these things, again, I always say this is not imposter syndrome coming out. This is just facts. Almost anything I say, none of it is groundbreaking. None of it is life-changing. It's little tasks and little decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis that will get you down the road to be March 1. Hey, I made it through a whole winter and had cash flow come in and kept my guys on, and now we're hitting the spring rush harder than anyone else because we're prepped and ready. If you can keep guys on and keep cash flow rolling, then when March 1 comes, all your machines should be ready to rock and roll. They should be primed. And when you roll into spring and you have trucks and trailers and everything that you needed, new tires, new alignments, all that stuff, then you will beat your competition because you can get out there faster. You can do better quality work. You're not going to be having as many breakdowns. Those are the things, the actions you take 2, 3, 4 months in advance are going to be what sets your company apart come March 1 when the spring rush is out there for everyone. When everyone is a week, 2, 3 weeks out on a simple mulch install. Oh, hey, we got you. We have the machines for it. We're prepped. We're ready. We can get you in tomorrow. Now, it's going to cost you an extra $250. We're a little bit higher than the next guy, but we're getting you in and out, finished up, wrapped up with an amazing product tomorrow afternoon as opposed to 2 weeks from now, right? So sell the value. You don't need to be the cheapest person. You need to be the most value-driven company that you can be. How do you do that? You have great team members on there that you know and trust that you can send to a property and them not screw it up. You have people that you can go and communicate with the customers correctly. These are all things that I'm working through that we're dealing with. I don't have any of this figured out. I'm telling you, these are things that we're going to be doing and looking into to do this year to keep 5 guys on payroll all winter long, plus myself, plus potentially an admin. That stuff adds up. But we can't afford to let our company go backwards in the wintertime and try to rebuild everything in the spring again. That's the issue that you have to look at. When you're a solo guy and you do that, you have to restart in the spring again. You have your nest egg. You don't do any work in the winter. You go out and spend it all, and you go on vacation. You enjoy yourself, but then you're restarting in the spring. You have no cash in your bank account. Cash flow sucks. You don't really catch up until the end of May, maybe the beginning of June, on cash and bills and things like that. You have end-of-year taxes for 24 will be coming due in April of 25. So the middle of spring rush plus startup costs, potentially buying new equipment. These are all things you have to think about. And so just try to add value to your company where you can, add value to your customers where you can, and that is going to be what sets you apart. Become a value-driven company. When you do that, that's when people will rant and rave about you and share to your neighbors and their friends and everybody else in their circle. It's not just, oh, hey, they put in good turf or they do mow the yard well. It's they offer me value. They always try to go above and beyond. They pick up the limb that broke off in the storm. They say, "Oh, hey, this is actually messed up. We need to stop this before it gets any worse." So they catch things that I'm not looking out for as the homeowner. It's not the homeowner's job to worry about that lawn. That's your job. That's your provider. You're their provider. You should be doing that. But you have to charge accordingly. How do you charge accordingly? You do those things. You add value. They receive the value. They have no issue paying it. That's how that process goes. So that's a lot to pack into 30 minutes there. I don't think I took a breath for the last 30, but it's all relevant. It's all things that you can be doing. There's more stuff than this that you can even get into. These are just the top of the mind things that I think you can go and actually put into action. To look at leaf cleanups, that's your first thing. That's what's right here on the corner, leaf cleanups. So what can you do? What equipment do you need to buy to get these efficient and effective? If you are putting a leaf box on, get on YouTube. There's plenty of videos on people building those. I've seen them. And find what works for you and take it and run with it. I know that you can see your company grow in the winter and not go backwards. It just takes diligence, effort, and things that you most likely haven't done in the past. So this is your year. 2024 is your year. You make the decision. Let's grow. Let's not go backwards and see true change in 2025 spring. So we have a lot of time left of the year. Don't get lazy. Keep pushing. But I tell you what, I'm already looking out to spring of next year to see what we can do to be better. We're going to end the year strong. I hope you end the year strong as well. Come to Equip Expo. You can end the year strong there. You're going to get pumped up. You're going to build relationships, grow networks, all the things you need to be doing in your company can be done at the Equip Expo. You can get in there for 50% off with code GG50. That'll get you in the door for $30. This show is different than anywhere else, any other trade show. You get to go, you get to sit on the equipment, you get to ride the equipment outside, you get to demo it, you get to test drive, you get to do all the things. You get to really put it to work. You get to meet with the manufacturers. You get to meet with the CEOs of these companies. A lot of them are there. The product design, the engineering team, everybody that you can think of are usually in these booths. And so I just want you to come hang out, spend 3 days out of your week. You can do it. You can justify it. I know you think, man, I got big projects, got to leave cleanup. You can do it. It's worth it. Come hang out, have a good time, build your network, see some equipment for how you can grow, what you should buy next year and years to come, how you can mechanize your business to change things in the future as you grow moving forward. Come see us, Louisville, Kentucky, October the 15th to the 18th. Code GG50 will get you in there for $30 instead of $60, which is what the price is now. So thank you for tuning into the show. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope that this brought some value to you. If it did, leave us a big 5-star rating or review. I know it was just kind of a simple show, not quite as deep and as hard as we went last week, but I just wanted to say, hey, there's actionable steps you can be taking to add revenue to your company and keep your guys on and grow your company one day at a time, one step at a time, one relationship at a time. Thank you for tuning in. It means the world that we get to do this for you. I keep saying to you. We get to do this for you 3 times a week here on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll catch up with you here on Monday again with another Marriage Monday. And without any further ado, that's going to wrap this one up. And we look forward to catching everybody here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.